Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the guy who loves to see Dick in the Batcave, and I'm not talking about Nightwing. We are back with some brand new plot details on the Batman, and in this video we're going to be going over not only them, but also the first look at the Batsuit in the upcoming Flash movie. There's a ton of Easter eggs in this image, and throughout the breakdown we'll be going over everything you need to know about it. There might be some spoilers here, so if you don't want anything ruined, then I recommend that you're Christian Bale. Yes, we are scraping the barrel of puns because we've been reporting on this for about 2 years now, but if you still enjoy them, then smash the thumbs up button and subscribe for videos like this each and every day. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is some brand new plot details that were posted on subreddit DCEU Leaks. If you want to skip ahead to the Michael Keaton part of the video, then timecodes will be linked below. Now, I tend to stay away as much as possible from reporting on leaks from Reddit because anyone can post them, but this kind of corroborates things that I've heard behind the scenes. The first point is that one of Batman's fight scenes includes him taking down 3 thugs with an empty pistol. It goes on to say that this iteration of the Caped Crusader is extremely violent and his gloves have blood on them after one of the fight scenes. The post even says that he punches someone so hard that he almost breaks his wrist at one point, and it definitely seems like the kind of thing that lines up with what we've seen in the trailer. It also says Batman experiments with a lot of different gadgets which are in various stages of development. He has batarangs, a grapple gun, and can deploy smoke which comes out from pipes under his wrists. The Batmobile itself looks very DIY, and even the Batbike is somewhat just a repurposed motorcycle. Now he also has a watch/screen which he uses as a GPS tracker and also to communicate with Alfred. Now this seems legit because it's what we can make out on the costume, so I'm gonna guess that this is definitely happening in the movie. Take one off for legitimate spoiler man. I always get them right, I told you. Now there was also an action figure shown recently in which we could see the grapnel gun and ammo for it, which will be using the darts on his gauntlets. Now speaking of Alfred, the post states that he and Bruce have a very rocky father and son like relationship and that they have multiple arguments throughout the film as Alfred doesn't approve of Bruce being Batman. He apparently pesters him about every little mistake, including the time Bruce almost killed someone. Get over it, Alfred. You're starting to sound like someone on YouTube that says Batman doesn't kill all the time. Now, ignoring all that, this is very similar to what we see in Earth 1, which the movie is apparently meant to be heavily based upon. In that, Alfred is sort of a mentor that teaches him combat skills, and he becomes paramount in helping Bruce to carve out a legacy as the Dark Knight. The post states that Robert's Batman voice is very low, it's almost like he's whispering, which is something that we can hear from the trailers after he smashes that dude's face in like you should smash the like button. Now the most interesting point probably in the list is that it states that Bruce is extremely mentally ill and that he's actually on medication. He of course saw his parents murdered in front of him as a child and likely suffers from PTSD because of this. He also has to deal with the anxiety that comes from that night, and Batman as a character is very much about trying to formulate control in a world of chaos. Batman was created by Bruce as a way to control his fear in order to not let his fear control him. I think that this is a side of Bruce's personality that's definitely worth exploring, and there are several avenues of mental health that the film can look into. These include depression, schizophrenia, and multiple personality disorder. According to Grace Randolph, Warner Bros are a bit worried about marketing toys for the movie because it could be seen as exploiting mental health issues. The Joker of course didn't have any action figures to go with the film, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, but as far as the character study goes, I think it's a really great thing for them to be tackling. Bruce is someone who's going through a Dark Knight crisis, and it's just so bad, and it just makes the character way more complex and interesting. Now apparently Barbara Gordon is mentioned a few times in the film, but she's never shown. I actually think that she might pop up in the GCPD spin-off series, and you might remember that CEO of feminism Joss Whedon was working on a film for her before it was scrapped. So they will likely take the character in a brand new direction, and I think this universe is the perfect way to go. The post also states GothCorp is part of Gotham, and this of course ties in with Mr. Freeze. It would be ice to see him, but currently we don't know if he's gonna be in the film or not. Now apparently the Riddler also has several flashbacks to when he was a teenager, namely when his parents were killed, and the final showdown between him and the Batman will take place at an orphanage. We know that one was spotted whilst filming was happening, so this does seem likely. If both characters are dealing with the trauma caused by their parents' deaths, then I think that this will be an amazing place to take the movie, and I would absolutely love it if this is where they go head to head. Now lastly, the post says that the film will be R-rated, and this is something I think will be very fitting for the character. Judging by the tone of the trailer, I can't see this being below an M or a 15 in the UK, and Joker has already shown that you can have big comic book movies that don't cater to all ages and still make more money than Bruce Wayne. I don't know if that joke works anymore, but I still remember when Batman was a millionaire, as I'm old. Now, with most posts on the internet, especially about Batman, there's been so much garbage floating about that it's difficult to discern what's true and what isn't. I'm looking at you, we got this covered. Now, I'm sure most of us remember the post from February about Pattinson having sex with Zoe Kravitz on the Batmobile, and how much BS that was. Wait, you don't remember? Well, let's read it. Now, I'm working on the set of the Batman, so in about a week or so, all media will go after him for what he and Zoe did on the set of the Batman last week. We, me and a lot of workers with Matt Reeves, caught Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz having sex on the Batmobile prop. It sounds like a bit of a porno, this. It's probably one of the worst things I've ever saw in my career now. Come on mate, they're not that ugly. Matt was so furious he interrupted them. Excuse me guys, can you stop having sex on the Batmobile? And that's not all. Zoe took a pregnancy test and she is pregnant. Imagine, it just sounds like Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons when he's talked about how the baby looked at him. Anyway, since October, Robert and Zoe started dating in secret. We knew about it as soon as we saw them together after work. She recently divorced her husband though. I'm purely disgusted by the act. Doesn't sound it, mate, because you keep banging on about it. All I know is that Reeves is so furious that he might not do the Batman 2 and 3 as he planned and let someone else direct. Mate, he's getting paid millions of pounds. I'll watch Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz have sex all day if it makes us a millionaire. But anyway, he literally told Pattinson, "You are the most entitled narcissistic actor I've ever worked with. You go back to work." Probably said, wipe yourself down. "We finish filming in March and then we are done. I don't ever want to work with you after this film." He even said he refuses to do reshoots if they will be needed. I don't know what they're going to do now, but they are trying to keep this situation on leash before the media make it official. We have that. It's been posted back in February, but I've got no idea how Zoe Kravitz still isn't showing that she's pregnant, but never mind. Scoop that for you guys, just in case you didn't know. Now, the next part of the video we're going to be talking about... I'm sorry, I'm really sorry about that. I just had to cover it because it's one of the funniest rumours I've ever read. Now, the next part of the video, we're going to be talking about the first look at Michael Keaton's Batsuit from The Flash. On Friday, director Andy Muschietti posted a close-up of the symbol with some strawberry jam on it, and this is clearly the same as the suit that he had for Returns. Now, the movie is apparently going to be based on Flashpoint, and in case you haven't read that book, then here's a quick breakdown. Barry goes back in time to save his mother from being killed, but in doing so, the butterfly effect creates a shockwave in time that changes many events. For example, Superman lands outside Kansas and is captured by the government. Atlantis and Themyscira go to war, and Bruce is killed in the alley instead of his parents. His father Thomas becomes Batman, and though I can't see Keaton being anyone but Bruce, it does introduce this idea of alternate Batmans. Flash managed to correct the timeline in the book, and this was apparently wiped out, and it allowed DC to start the New 52. Now what's strange is that this image looks very similar to the comedian's badge from Watchmen. In DC Rebirth, this was found in the Batcave, and the Flash ended up going back to the source, which is where he discovered Thomas Wayne's timeline was still active, and it was just in an alternate dimension. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is hinting towards that, but what it is hinting towards is that WB are definitely marketing this as a Batman movie over being one with the Flash. The first set photos we saw were of Wayne Manor, and the first look is of Batman. So yeah, maybe Ezra, maybe you're gonna have to go up into those WB offices and choke someone out. Now I have heard that the studio is aware that this incident will cause some issues when they go to promote the film, so they're leaning more heavily into the Batman as he's not only more bankable, but Keaton is way less controversial. It's also going to be interesting to see how they market Aquaman in light of constant things about Amber Heard coming out, and it seems like WB are going to have to play it very carefully as let's face it, they're not the most popular studio right now. Either way though, I'd of course love to hear your thoughts on the points, especially the Batmobile story, and make sure you comment below and let me know. As a thank you for interacting with the video, you'll be entered into a prize draw on the 30th of June, in which we're giving away 3 copies of the Phase 3 MCU box set. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the video. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of Sweet Tooth, which will be linked on screen right now. It's a great DC book and also a great Netflix show, so it's definitely worth watching if you want to know more. With that out of the way, thanks for sitting until the end of the video. I'll see you next time, and you take care of yourself. Peace.